Well guys, here's that Icom. Let's adjust this a little bit here, hold on. I think it's the Icom anyway. This is the other 2300. Now I do have one of these in the vehicle already. I was going to look at the 4100, but more for the base, if that's what you want to call it, for here. And use it as a base station, because most of your amateur radios are just 12 volt radios, and you need a power supply, or they're all 12 volt radios with a power supply built in. However, I was going to buy the Icom 4100 for the base because it has D-Star and a few things, but seeing that I'm probably going to buy the 9700 when it comes out, there's no sense me buying a 4100 and wasting money at that point, because I don't need it in the car, because I already have enough radios in the car. So I'd just be buying a radio and wasting money. At this point, I'm kind of wasting money, but I'm not wasting a lot of money. So I bought another 2300. Yeah. Now if I can figure out how to get the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this here at the base, because I, believe it or not, I have nothing here to use on 2 liter or 440, but I don't need 440 just yet. Hey boss, what's up? I don't need 440. I'm not on 440 to where I can say I gotta have it. So when it does come in with the other radio, hey Lance, hold on. So when the 97 comes in, it does have both UHF and VHF, as well as 12.2, but it's also sideband and everything else. So at that point, being here would be a good place for it, and that's why I would have it here. I would tend to use that one more so than these other ones. So kind of like that's where I'm at. So like I say, I figured this here way, this will get me by without me spending a lot of money, because I really don't want to start popping out bucks when I'm going to be popping out bucks when the other radio comes out. And I'm thinking that'll probably end up coming out sometime just before next Christmas. That's what I'm thinking. So it gives us 6-7 months to think about it. Boy, 6 to 7 months already. See how time goes by? Holy shit. You know, time goes by fast, boy, that's for sure. Good idea to save boxes, because you never know when you're going to need. Actually, I should put the receipt in this box. Is this the receipt? Well, let's put it this way. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. You guys had enough, guys, okay? Alright, later. Alright, so, you guys seen this radio. I have one just like it in the van. This one's going to be for here. So, when I'm here, I'll be able to jump into conversation and do some talking. So that's why we're here. So what I'm going to do, temporarily, I'm just going to hook it up to power, turn it on, and let it sit for a few minutes in the on position. Doing thing I don't care for on a lot of the radios nowadays are these damn phone jacks. I like the old plug-in screw-on. I don't like these. I guess it's just cheaper. Who knows? But I'm used to the other ones. I don't care for them. That's all there is to it. Alright, so let's hook this up to power and just turn it on. I'm not going to transmit on it, so I'm not going to worry about an antenna just yet. Besides, the leads that I'm going to hook this up to are not going to be heavy enough to supply this with the proper amperage. And yes, it's the amperage that we need. Well, you need the voltage too, but you definitely need the amps. You can have 12, 14 volts and that'll light it up. But you know, go to talk, if you haven't got the amps to back up those volts, you're gonna have problems. I've blown a lot of stuff, especially on my boat, due to bad amperage. Okay, power. So let's just leave that there and let that run for a few minutes. And I'm gonna have my tea. Oh, I'm sorry, did I not show you? Hello, hello, there you go. Now I'm gonna let that run for a while. I will plug it into an antenna real quick in a few minutes to make sure it's transmitting, everything is working properly, because I do have to go in it to do a modification. Yes, why can't we just leave things alone? That's because it's not in our nature. We got to make it better. And who knows more than the company that made it? Us, the users. Alright, that's it for now. Alright, so, again, checking it twice. We don't want to believe everything we see. We always want to double check. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see this. This is a hat pin. And I just kind of can give you a comparison as to the size of that little diode. It's got to be lifted. Right there. Again, I don't want to take it out. I just want to lift up one end. That's just me. Just in case, I can just kind of set it back down and hopefully be able to tack it real quick. I'm using a solder iron that I took one of the tips. This is not the tip I'm using, but I took a tip like this and I basically made it as small as this hat pin. So that's what I'm going to be using to lift that little diode off right there. Right there. So that's kind of like what we're going to do. Now the first thing is, believe it or not, I really can't see it that well with the glass, with this glass. So I am going to just leave that here for light, and I'm going to put on a pair of these that I can see with and change the lens to whatever it is I need at the time. So let's see, what do I need? No, that one's not going to work. I need more than that. That may work. Let me get another one out. Oh yeah, one more strength. One more. I think that would be this one. What's this one? Okay, come on. You should say on there what the hell you are. I think this is a 2X. 1.5. Okay. What's the one I have on here? I don't know. a 1. I think I'm going to go to a 2. What I want to get is another pair of these. See this drawer full of them. But I want to get them where they have the individual eyepiece for each eye, and that they're adjustable, almost like a set of binoculars would be. Because it would be a little bit more comfortable, I think. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. Let's make sure we have a little bit of heat here first. Okay. There. Okay, so as you can see, it's still there, just that it's not focusing for you. Hold on. Oh, you don't want to focus? We just had a focus. There it is. Let's see if that's it. I may have moved it a little too close. Let's try and back up a little bit more. Alright, that should be doing it. Yeah. Alright, so that little diode, as you can see, is now lifted. Now what I want to do is I'm going to cut a little piece of tape. And again, this is just me. You don't have to do any of this, but I like to leave the diode there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just a little piece of tape. And I mean a little piece of tape. And then I gotta find my little bit of over here. Hold on, guys. My little bit of okay, I know they're in here someplace. Oh, they're right in my hand. Jeez. Okay. My little bit of tweezers with the little light on it if I need it, which I don't need it with the light. And let me get a something here I can use. I'm going to put this tape underneath that diode so that if it does go back down, it's not going to reconnect and drive me nuts. There. Okay, now that may or may not focus again. Let's see. These are a nice little gadget to have. They got a little light on them. Well, I'll show them to you when this thing decides to do what it's doing. Alright, so meanwhile, as you can see, I lifted up that little diode and I put a little piece of tape there, so if the diode decides to rest, it'll rest down on the tape. And that's basically where we're at. Because if I left it there, which I did, and it decides it wants to fall into place again, it's going to be one of those things that drive me nuts, because it'll be connecting, not connecting, connecting, not connecting. And I'd be sitting there trying to figure out, going nuts as to what the hell it's doing. So, when I was talking about the tweezers, I don't remember where I got them. But I got a set for in the house as well, believe it or not, because they're great for pulling out slivers and things. They got the little light on it, which is nice. And it's not a bad set of tweezers. It actually makes a good connection and good contact. They're nice and even, and they're pointy enough on the pointy side to where you can get in there and do what you have to do. I don't remember where I got them though. And they weren't much. I don't even remember how much, but they weren't much. So, but I use them a lot. They come in handy for a lot of things. Alright, so, meanwhile, let's put some of this stuff away. Scissors I can move over here. I thought I just felt or heard something hit the ground, but it didn't. It was this hitting that. Okay, so now this just kind of fits back in here. Like so. It's an easy conversion as long as you have the equipment to do it with. And I would strongly recommend taking the smallest solder tip you have and try to make it smaller. The trick is keeping it even. When you're making it smaller on the wheel, you got to make sure that you're continuously turning it, because you want it to be even. If you have little notches and gouges in it, what's going to happen is those little knots and gouges and spots, flat spots, they're all going to start heating up on you, and you're going to lose the heat where you need it most, which is going to be on the tip. So you want to make sure that when you do this, there we go. Okay, so that's done. When you do it, you want to make sure that you have the tip and do it right. Don't rush it. Take your time. And then try it. Test it. Don't just do it and think it's done. You want to find the hot spots. You want to find out where it works best for you. So anyway, sun is coming out. It is out actually. So I could probably get out there and do that antenna review. Well, you guys, well, it's a review, I guess, but I don't want to call it that because, again, I'm going to say it again. I'll probably say it another 100 times. It's, in my opinion, it's not a review, even though I guess it is. I am telling you what I like about the antenna, and I'm not going to stage it. I'm not going to sit here and make it look good. I'm going to use it, try it, see how it works, and at that point, take it from there. Yeah, I'm not going to set up any staging for it, you know, and have a fancy background and let the bells and whistles sell it. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just trying to let you know what I think about it. I'm changing the solder tip back to the one that I normally use when I'm using this solder iron. Here's something I had to do with this iron too, by the way. I found every time I wanted to take this off, there's another piece on here that's threaded, where this threads to and holds this into. Well, that piece is just sitting there, and every now and then it would just come out. So I can't have that. You know, that's got to be attached. That's where the heat's coming from. So what I do is I drilled a little hole in the piece that keeps coming out. Then I just put it in place, and I just made a little dimple with a punch to kind of just dimple it into where, you know, boom, where that little hole was that I drilled. And it wasn't a big hole. It was just a little bitty, you know, I don't know. It was small. just enough to feel it. So, but anyway, that's where we're at. All right, I'll be back.